Okay, here is a lovely recipe that's going to go through in detail 3 fantastic techniques: brining a piece of fish, confiting a piece of fish, slightly different, and making a wonderful sauce, and the layers that are involved in making a sauce that has depth and beautiful viscosity. This is confit cod with watercress and oyster sauce. All the recipes can be found at deliciousmagazine.co.uk. I'm going to start with this beautiful whole fillet of Peterhead cod, fine English cod. I love big cod like this. You get the fantastic thick pieces of cod that just give you so much amazing texture. I've got a really nice portion of that to confit. Super nice generous portions of cod. So there we go. That's our portion of large Peterhead cod. Today we are focusing on how to get that cod brined and confit. So the first thing we need to do is make a 10% brine. So that means if you have a litre of water, you need 100 grams of salt. I just use Maldon sea salt and I dissolve it in the water, and we hold that brine and use it, and the brine is cold, and that's really important. So in here is a 10% brine. So 10% salt and water. We're going to take our portions of cod and we're going to drop them in, and we're going to leave them there for 10 minutes. So 10%, 10 minutes, out they come, dry them, and then they're ready for confit. Now, what's the reason for that brine? Normally you see brining with chicken and things like that, but actually we brine a lot of the fish that we use at Trinity. I only brine fish that is non-oily fish. So that's white fish like halibut, potentially sea bass, cod. Never brine salmon, tuna, sardines, oily fish. And they're oily fish because the oil is in their flesh, not in their liver. So that's the difference. This is going to firm up the flesh. It's going to make sure that the seasoning is penetrated through, and it's going to give us a really tight texture. That cod's had exactly 10 minutes. It's had 10 minutes on a timer as well. This is an exact science, this part. 10% brine, 10 minutes. Out it comes onto a J cloth. I don't wash it or anything. And you can already feel that the flesh has firmed up nicely. Okay, we discard that now. It's just salt and water. Now, confit. Confit is normally held back for things like duck leg, pork belly, things that take a long, long time. Generally speaking, confit is submerging a piece of meat into its own fat to slow cook. Now, this obviously doesn't happen with cod because we don't have a fat that's relevant to cod. So we use olive oil that's really lovely flavored, holds at a really nice temperature, and doesn't make the fish greasy. So it's really lovely as a vehicle to confit. We've got this oil, which is olive oil here, that's been added some lemon zest, garlic, thyme in there as well, a few peppercorns, and we're holding that at 60 degrees. And that's the temperature we're going to cook this cod. It only takes 9 minutes to cook, depending on the size of your cod, of course. So we're going to pop that cod into that lovely oil. To do this, really you should have a thermometer. In goes our lovely piece of cod, like so. And it's hot, but it's not that hot. You see, I can hold my fingers in there, it's not that hot. So we just pop those cod into there like that and let that cook, and I'll give that 10 minutes and I'll check it in 10 minutes time. Okay, so here's the sauce for that beautiful piece of cod. This is a very simple sauce, but it's layers, and it's about impact, and it's about flavor. So this is how we do that. It's based off a very classic, simple sauce made from the base of a vichyssoise, which is a classic soup base. I start with some French butter, salted of course. Into the pan goes some sliced potatoes, very thinly sliced. These potatoes are going to bring viscosity and warmth and comfort and thickness to that lovely sauce. So that's where the thickness is coming from. This is kind of avoiding having to reduce the sauce to get thickness. I don't want to do that, because that's what creates a kind of really claggy sauce and a non-fresh sauce. Bad way of saying it. A sauce that's not very fresh. So actually, onions and potatoes in the beginning, get that in, get those sweated down. They are the foundation, they're the base, they're the beginning layer of this sauce. A little bit of garlic, just 1 clove. Taken out the root of that garlic because it gets a bit bitter. Pop that in there. Really important now, we're going to go in with some salt. With anything like this, it's very important that we season this from the beginning. We get the salt imparted in now. We season the whole thing. That's going to bleed out the potatoes, bleed out the onions, and give us a sauce that has got no extra moisture in there. All the acidity is burnt off, and it's really beautifully soft and sweet. You can see that these potatoes are slightly translucent now. The onions are really soft. They've given sweetness. The moisture's gone. Now time to build up those layers. The first thing that's going to go in is some white wine. White wine's not bringing a wine flavour. It's bringing acidity. It's bringing layers and layers and layers into our sauce and acidity. So in goes the white wine. Just use a nice dry white wine. You don't need an expensive wine, but try and avoid a wine that's got huge characteristics like a skin contact wine or a Riesling or something like that. Something quite neutral, a Chardonnay I use normally. So in that goes, and that wine wants to reduce all the way down. And that wine's all but gone now, all reduced down nicely. In going fish stock now. This is the main body of the sauce. So you need to get this right as per the recipe so that we end up with a sauce that's got nice viscosity to it, but packed full of flavour. Get that fish stock up to the boil and let that simmer for about 3 minutes. Nice and simple. What goes in next is a little dash of cream. The cream's there really for the fat and that sort of richness and that mouthfeel that we're bringing. So the fat's really important. So double cream goes in, but it's not tons of double cream. It's just a little bit to aid the richness of it. So you're almost ending up with a sort of milky texture of that sauce as it's coming up. I've got here a couple of oysters. These are going to make a huge impact to this sauce. If you're going to open these oysters, just be very careful with your hands, protect your hands. In the top there, twist the oyster knife, then you can run the knife down the side, like so, and you just want to release, there's only one muscle in an oyster that you need to release the top there. It's that one there, you need to release that. Hold these oysters because they're going to go into our sauce. See what's happened now, the fat's had a huge impact on the acidity. So it's really balanced out that acidity. That's now got fantastic flavour from the fish stock, from the white wine, the onions coming through. The potatoes are completely neutral and the stock is in there, and that's really lovely. And that cream has just given it a bit of mouthfeel. Beautiful. Now it's the last finishing touch for our sauce. Into a blender. It can be any flask type blender. Lid goes on. And then we're going to give that a blend and get that working up now. There's enough residual heat in this soup going on now to cook our watercress and to cook our oysters. So we're just going to get the oysters in. Watercress goes in raw, picked, no big stalks on there. Plenty of watercress. It cooks down to absolutely nothing. The recipe is correct. That goes in and we turn out, speed up to maximum and give that a really good blend. So that's had a really good blend now, that sauce. I'm really happy with the colour. Look at the colour of that. Amazing. Really important, this goes into a fine sieve and it goes into a bowl and it goes over ice. And that ice water is going to stop the cooking dead. It's going to kill any chance of that sauce discoloration or going brown. And it's going to keep the freshness. Even if I was serving this sauce straight away, which I am, I would still be chilling this sauce down over ice. Watercress is super seasonal right now, and this is a great way of getting green colour and vibrancy into your cooking and your diet at this time of the year. Look at that sauce. Absolutely chuffed with that. Okay, so that cod had the desired time. Out it comes, nice and gently with it, but nice and firm because of that brining. Best way to know if a piece of fish like this is cooked is, does the skin just come off really naturally? And if the skin's really resistant to come off, you're pretty much assured that that fish is not cooked. So because this comes off really easily, I know it's cooked. With confit, you're not really going to eat that skin, so that's important. This is a little, you don't have to do this. This is something we do in the restaurant a lot. It's basically a dehydrated powder that we make that's got lemon verbena, a little bit of cumin in there as well, and all those lovely flavours. It just helps kind of give us a little bit of acidity and balance to the cod, especially for confing it as well. So let's get this on the plate. That's my cod with watercress and oyster sauce. Beautiful, simple, perfect Saturday, perfect for a dinner party. This was for my friends at Delicious, and all the recipes can be found at deliciousmagazine.co.uk. I hope you give it a go, hope you enjoy. I enjoyed making it. White pearlescent cod, bright green sauce. This weather outside, this is the antidote to this, huh?